back, people. Right, it turns out people dislike the critical drinker. Like, I mean, actually hate him, base their YouTube channels on it, and create loads of content saying the critical drinker sucks. I completely disagree, and I'm going to tell you why, so stay tuned. Hit that like, subscribe if you like what I'm saying. So let's get straight into it. So basically, I have fallen down a rabbit hole. I made a video, as we know, about Nerdrotic and the Critical Drinker, who are both extremely liked, as you can tell by all their subs, all their followers, view time, and I'm sure they're making loads of money. That kind of thing, right? They go to Comic-Con, people want to see them. There are some negative press about them both. Obviously, they meet lots of people. They're not going to be nice to everyone, can't be nice to everyone, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I get all that. They're humans. We have good days, bad days. However, there are people criticising the Critical Drinker, ironic, I know, about how he is a lazy reviewer, how he doesn't know what he's talking about, or he does just pander to an audience that want to hear about how woke everything is, how poor Disney is, how terrible Marvel's become, and basically diversity and feminism and these kind of things. As much as, somewhat I do agree, he does pander to that audience because that's his opinion, and he has a very strong opinion on it because he creates stories, he writes books, he likes good characters, not characters for the sake of being characters, and I'll sort of touch on that. So we've got a lot of people out here disliking him. Okay, I never knew that was a thing. I thought everybody liked him. I didn't even think, right? I never thought people made YouTube videos to basically say how poor he is and try and tear him down when these YouTube channels are fairly small in comparison, right? We're talking some have like 600 subs, hardly any views. Some have, 30,000 subs, doing great, but not doing as well as him. And I just don't understand why they would try and pull down someone who is very big in the space. Why are you going to pull down someone who's popular? He's popular for a reason. People really resonate with what he's saying. I resonate with what he's saying a lot of the time, not all the time. He says hundreds of things, thousands of things, makes hundreds and thousands of videos. He's, the amount of hours he's on YouTube, he's going to get things wrong. Yes, he's going to say things that is hypocritical. We're humans. This is what we do every single day, right? But he's on camera a lot. Of course, he's going to get it wrong. Now, in terms of his opinion of like the woke culture and diversity in films, I don't think the man has a problem with diverse characters. I think this is absolute rubbish. Some of his favourite films that he highly recommends have female leads. We're talking things like Terminator 2, Terminator, in fact. Yeah, we have Sarah Connor, we have Ripley, he loves Alien. So it's about the characters, how they're written, how they're portrayed, and what are they doing to be quintessentially the hero or the heroine, whatever it is. What are they doing to become that? What's the character arc? What's the story? These characters are written really well, and they're not just brilliant. You see them go through trials and tribulations, you see them struggle, you see them really build into the characters that they become. Whereas today's movies, films, series, we're seeing a bit different. We're seeing the female take the role of, I guess, the 80s action hero, which a lot of people have said, oh, you like the 80s, which is all about being ridiculously macho and basically unrealistic. It was never just a random bloke like me. It was the best of the best, i.e. Arnie, Sylvester Stallone, Claude Van Damme. It was people who actually had some sort of, I don't know, you looked at them, they were menacing. They were big, burly men who have worked really hard to have their frames look muscular, be masculine. And it's believable that these people could do extreme things. Not as extreme as the movies are suggesting, but they could do extreme things because they're extreme people. Whereas what we're seeing today is basically not extreme people doing extreme things with such ease. And basically, it's not good watching. That's all it is. There is no message behind it. The message can only be this person, she or he, whatever, is brilliant. Okay? But we want to know why they're brilliant. Like, do they look brilliant? Like, when I watched Rambo, Sylvester Stallone looks brilliant. Like, you can see, you're like, whew, that person looks like they've got in shape. That person looks rough, tough. When you look at Arnie and Commando and Predator, look at them. They look like they've worked to be in this role. They look like they can handle a gun. They can do a pull-up. They can have a physical fight with someone. Whereas today, not so much. And I think that's the point. And the point is, what's the story behind it? He really does bring up some great points regarding this, about sort of plot points and Glass Onion, for example. I agreed almost fully with his review. However, I'm not a film reviewer in terms of I'm not a professional. I don't look at the nuances. However, I do know what lazy screenwriting is. So, i.e., he makes a comment about a scene that you're watching it and no one's in the background. Yes, you hear a stick, but no one's in the background. But the exact same shot, someone's in the background later on to the big reveal. That is lazy, because that never happened like that, and they're suggesting that it did, but it didn't, because that person wasn't in shot. So I get that's murder mystery, and I get that's kind of how it unfolds, but for someone who is interested in story, plot lines, and everything making sense, and well written stories, like the Critical Drinker is, hence why he has his own books, he is going to care about stuff like that. He doesn't just write a book and then come up with some absolute rubbish and, this person who happens to be a main character is just here for no reason. No, they're there for a reason. The story intertwines, and, like Tarantino, when he makes a film, everything runs through each other like train tracks. It's smooth. Yeah, whether or not it's believable is completely different. The law of his own movies is fantastic. And it all makes sense within the written and the concept that he's put together in front of us on screen. And that is why we don't like certain things, right? So, for example, a lot of people talk about, why does he care that the hobbits are, not straight? Why does he care that Lenny Henry's in The Hobbit, for example, or a dwarf is black and things? Well, he doesn't care. What he cares about is the law and the respect of the writing and what it's trying to portray. I.e., when you're watching something, yeah, everyone does it, you get taken out of it's escapism, right? So when you're watching it, you want to escape, you want to believe in this fantasy world, and all of a sudden you're starting to see things that doesn't make any sense. I.e., we know what the book and things are based on with Tolkien and the time period. The time period wouldn't make sense for people to look like this. Okay, I understand dwarves are not real. I totally get it. I understand elves are not real. But there's a law, there are rules within the world that is created, and it's there to be respected. Okay, so therefore, when you're watching it and you see that there are diverse characters in places that don't make any sense, i.e. elves, i.e. dwarves, they don't even see sunlight, so it doesn't make sense for them to be any other shade than pale, for example, or whatever it is. Like, it's just where they're based, so that doesn't make sense. Now, if you write in a particular, like, the whole of Middle Earth has so much going on, right? You could easily write in more forces, a different community of people, and there's no problem. All of a sudden, you have a really, hopefully well written, different community or different section, tribe, whatever you want to call it, within the book. And you can actually integrate them into your new storyline. And it could be really well written and well crafted, and they could be really interesting. But instead, we're just going to swap it. So straight away your mind's like, your brain is telling you it don't make sense. And when it's telling you that, you have less enjoyment. Now you're picking at it, and now you're not looking at the screen quickly. You're reaching for your bowl of crisps or whatever, and you're not really concentrating. And then you see something else that you don't like, and it starts to annoy you one by one. And then all of a sudden, after episode 1, 2, you're just like, I'm done. Can't watch this. This is what happened with me. I couldn't watch the Rings of Power. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like anything about it. But I'm not going to review it and constantly talk about it. It just was not good. But I understand why everybody didn't like it. I understand everything about it. And I understand why the Critical Drinker, Nerdrotic, and all these people have made so many videos about it, because they love this franchise, this IP, and it's being destroyed in their opinion. Yeah, and it is just their opinion, and their opinion doesn't actually hurt anybody. Yeah, it's a big opinion, and it goes over to millions of people, and yes, it has an effect on whether or not people will like things and enjoy it because they trust them. However, that said, it's just an opinion. So people who are trying to hate and bring them down, shut them down, cancel them, call them names, and be aggressive to them online, totally wrong. I've said it before, and look, this is just a rabbit hole that I've fallen down. Smash the like, subscribe. This is a real ramble. I'll be making other videos more akin to what I want to make. You know, like I've said before, my Alien, my Predator, my stuff like that. I love all this crap. And yeah, just a nerd, mate. That's all it is. Anyway, ciao.